So who are the most important recruits that Georgia signed in the 2021 class? I've got all of that for you right now. Stick with me through the end of the video because it's going to take me the whole time to talk about him. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan. Let's go with the guy that I think is one of the top 3 most influential guys, or should be in this class. That's Xavier Sorey from Florida, a guy that Georgia got right at the end. Really a really challenging recruiting situation for Georgia, but picking him up and beating out Alabama and Florida for him, that's really a big pickup for Georgia because you can never have enough really gifted linebackers in the SEC. They play a lot of positions, whether you're talking about on the field or special teams, and anyone who can affect the quarterback is someone that you really want in your program. The quarterback's the most important position, and for Sorey, he gives you the capability to not worry about linebacker for the next few years at Georgia. That's how this should go. When you think about Roquan Smith leaving, was there really an explosive, playmaker at linebacker? You have Monty Rice, who was really productive. Was he a playmaker? I don't know. Xavier Sorey should be a playmaker at linebacker. And that's not to run Monty down. It's just that different guys, different levels. I mean, Kobe Dean was a guy that a lot of people felt like could be an explosive Roquan-type player, just smaller. Is that the same thing you're going to get with Xavier Sorey? I mean, this guy's 6'3", 215 pounds. That's more of an edge guy. But at the end of the day, I don't know where these guys are going to play when they play linebacker at Georgia. Nolan Smith was a guy that's an edge rush guy who some people considered a linebacker coming out of high school. Trayvon Walker played middle linebacker in high school. Of course, he was not a middle linebacker. I thought he was an edge guy too. But when you look at Xavier Sorey, the commitment to Georgia over Bama and Florida, this was a guy both those programs really, really wanted desperately and bad. And to be a top 20 sort of national consensus player, that's a big deal. So for Georgia to grab him, it's really important. I think he's one guy to watch moving forward in this 21 class. The second guy is Marius Mims, just huge. The challenge for Mims is going to be jumping up in the level of play, and that goes for Sorey as well. It goes for all these guys. I mean, Sorey's playing at IMG though, so that's a different level of football than what Marius has been dealing with in Georgia. I mean, IMG is a premier institution in terms of development of football talent. Marius Mims is raw still, and he's going to arrive at Georgia raw. So it could take him a little time to get where he's got to go. But over a 3-year period, he definitely should be a starting tackle, a starting left tackle for Georgia. I don't think he'll start left tackle in 2021, but I think he'll play. He could start maybe on the line. I don't know. But these are, it is critical to get body types like his in the program. And when you saw Xavier Truss play in the Sugar Bowl, there were times he really struggled. And I would imagine that Mims would struggle at times too. But I think that was 2 full years into it for Truss. You would hope that Mims could jump in quicker and develop, in a way that you could use him like you did with Andrew Thomas. The problem with Andrew Thomas was he was coming from an IMG level place like Pace. I mean, Pace is not obviously IMG level in terms of just football, but it is a big time private school in Atlanta, and Andrew was developed. Mims is not. So the upside for Mims is pretty significant. That it would catch Andrew Thomas number 4 overall, I don't know, but that's not out of the question at all. And he is a big deal player. I watched him play live a couple times, and he's hard to deal with for sure. Last guy, and might be the most obvious, which is Brock Vandergriff, state championship game winner for Prince Avenue in Athens. quarterbacks have become abnormally important in college football. You can win with Jake Coker, I guess, but Jake Coker was at Alabama. You're not going to win with Josh Heupel or whoever it was that won the Heisman at Oklahoma in 2001. Those days are gone. You need a quarterback who has exceptional playmaking ability, whether that be with their feet or their arm. Vandergriff has the capability to do both. And what I think is missing here is that people don't realize how gifted he is with his legs. This is not the SEC, but when you watch the state championship game, the run that he had to break free on fourth down, that pretty well broke the game for Prince Avenue. Didn't break it open, but you're going forward on your own 30-something or 40, whatever it was, and he runs down the sideline for 35 yards or whatever it was. I don't want to make it seem like he's something he's not, because often we get so, the hyperbole gets out of control with these guys. But he's a gifted player for sure. And what separates him is his ability to run. His passing is good. It's exceptional. But people are sleeping on him and the feet. He can slam the ball in there to pick up a 2-yard gain near the goal line, or he can take it outside. No, he's not going to be as fast, comparatively speaking, to the rest of the SEC players, but he's going to be fast enough. And I just don't know that if Georgia's had a quarterback like him since Quincy Carter. And what you were asking Quincy to do was run options, quarterback keepers. This is a slightly different style of offense than Georgia's had in that time. I mean, when you had Aaron Murray and DJ Shockley and even Matthew Stafford, who were gifted runners, they weren't like this guy. Shockley maybe, but you weren't taking DJ and ramming him between the guards. This guy can do that, and he can get outside. So I think when you watch. He's not like Deshaun Watson. He's not with the feet. He's not necessarily like Trevor Lawrence. He's not as big as Tim Tebow. It's just different. And I don't know if they're going to make him run as much as someone like. I mean, Tim Tebow was predicated on the run. That's not what this guy. This guy is predicated on the pass. It's just that he can do this too. We're just not seeing a ton of guys like him. I mean, Ian Book is closer, the quarterback at Notre Dame. He's the closest sort of comparison. I've made that a lot. But Ian Book's not as big, I don't think, as Vandergriff. And when you watch him play, it is the speed and the power. Those two things combined, he's going to be a very deadly runner for Georgia whenever he gets up there. JT Daniels is not a runner, period. This would have been as close to Jamie Newman, but perhaps with a more skilled arm, as you're going to see. But we didn't see a lot of Jamie Newman, at Georgia. We didn't see any Jamie Newman at Georgia. I watched a lot of him thinking he was going to Georgia, but he didn't. And with Vandergriff, you're talking about a very different type of player that Georgia's had this century. Quincy was just a raw athleticism. This guy's got that. And I mean, Shock was not a bigger guy. This guy's relatively big. He's my size. He probably doesn't weigh as much as I do, but he's 6'3", 6'4", certainly 220. I'm a little bit more than 220. So he's got that, and he has the ability to run. So all the passing and all this stuff, at first, when I watched him, I was like, he's really good. I'm not sure he's a transformational quarterback like Justin would have been at Georgia. And I still probably think that, but I've watched him live 7 times. And so I know where all the bodies are buried. I mean, I know where he does dumb stuff like all high school quarterbacks. But that'll get cleaned up. And the running is something I guess I'm kind of obsessed with. We just haven't seen that at Georgia. We haven't seen that a lot in the SEC. Deshaun Watson was not like this. Deshaun was more of this is the wrong way to put it, but a finesse runner. This guy is that, but he can do power too. So I just don't know that we've seen a lot of people like this in the league lately. And he could be a game-changing quarterback for Georgia, but he's got to win the job. And that's, not a certainty either. We're just going to have to see how it goes. Just because you were really good in high school and won a state championship doesn't mean you're going to be the starter at Georgia. I just described Carson Beck, who won a 7A state championship in Florida at a school that's never done anything. So whoever starts in the future, whether it's Carson or Brock, they will have won the job against someone who's pretty good. And we're just going to have to see. But Vandergriff is a gifted player for sure. Mims should be protecting the quarterback Georgia for some time. And then just, Sorey was not from Georgia. And when you watch him play his film, whether it's at IMG or his sophomore stuff, this guy's playing running back. He's an edge rusher. We're just going to have to see how but he's a freak, no doubt about it. I mean, you want to play him inside or outside? I'm not sure if I'm smart enough. He played a lot of outside when he was in high school. What he will be in the future, I couldn't say. But he gets to the quarterback quick. And that's what you want. Dean Legge from Dog Post. Check out this playlist right here I've got for you. Want to make sure to check it out because we are updating it all the time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the website. Dean Legge from Dog Post, making you a smarter Georgia fan.